All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to Promotech. Thanks for tuning in. Samsung isn't just launching another foldable this year. They're quietly redesigning the rules before Apple even steps on the field. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide isn't about bigger numbers or louder marketing. It's about changing how a foldable feels in your hand, how apps behave on it, and who Samsung wants to win over long term. Let's dive right into the video. First, the name Wide isn't random. Compared to the regular Z Fold 8's tall, cinematic 21:9 style direction, this one shifts toward a square 18-ish by 8 layout when unfolded. Side by side, the difference is immediate. The standard fold stretches content vertically, giving you that immersive movie theater vibe. The wide version compresses that height and pushes outward. It feels shorter but broader, less like a remote control, more like a compact tablet. Now here's the part most people are missing. Samsung already mastered immersion. They don't need to prove that again. What they're doing with the Wide is targeting behavior. Social media feeds, editing timelines, productivity dashboards, they're naturally centered, grid-based, and square-friendly. On a taller fold, you're scrolling through negative space. On the Wide, content sits balanced and full. Less wasted screen, less thumb travel. That's not accidental. That's design psychology. And this is where Apple comes in. Rumors suggest Apple's first foldable won't chase extreme aspect ratios. It'll likely prioritize familiarity and usability. Samsung isn't waiting. They're building a second book-style foldable that says, we can do practical too. Not just futuristic, but there's a trade-off. Movies may letterbox slightly more. Games optimized for ultra-wide might not feel as dramatic. The Wide could sacrifice cinematic flair for everyday comfort. And honestly, that tells us Samsung believes foldables are shifting from wow devices to daily driver devices. Behind the scenes, this also simplifies developer optimization. A squarer canvas behaves more predictably across apps. That means fewer weird scaling issues, fewer awkward UI stretches. Developers win. Content creators win. Power multitaskers probably win the most. And speaking of power users, quick side note. A lot of you watching are already tweaking layouts, customizing good lock modules, pushing your Galaxy devices further than Samsung ever intended. That's why tools like Wallverse have been gaining attention lately. It's basically a smarter workspace layer for people juggling notes, scripts, and edits across devices. Not an ad break, just relevant if you're the kind of person who'd actually use a wide fold properly. Now zoom out. Samsung isn't replacing the Z Fold 8. They're splitting the identity. One version leans cinematic and traditional. The other leans practical and square. That's not confusion. That's segmentation before Apple forces it. And here's something interesting. Producing a wide model in meaningful volume suggests Samsung expects real demand, not just experimentation. They're confident enough to globalize it. That signals something bigger. Foldables are maturing into categories, not just models. Quick community moment. Over 70% of you watching right now aren't subscribed. If you're into this kind of deeper breakdown where we connect the dots instead of just reading specs, subscribe and be part of this detail-obsessed crew. This channel isn't about hype. It's about understanding where tech is actually heading. Because if Samsung is preparing two identities before Apple even launches one foldable, what happens next year when Apple refines theirs? Does Samsung double down on width? Or does the industry converge on a new standard that makes today's folds feel transitional? Take care and stay safe. I'll see you in the next one soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.